everybody. This is Anil in front of you. Today I have received an opportunity from sir to teach the two basic concepts in political science and international relations, which are basics. But basics, these words are basic, but most of the people don't have the proper understanding and the proper interpretation of that word. So the two words are in front of you: dictatorship and democracy. What is the main differences between the both, dictatorship or democracy? First of all, as we all are Indian, so we should understand the proper meaning of democracy. What do you mean by democracy? Democracy, it seems to be very easy, but it requires very deep interpretation. It means it requires intellectual competency. Now, take example, our India is a democratic nation, and simultaneously so many constitutional values are associated with it, like secularism, sovereignty, liberty, freedom. These are some additional constitutional values without which democracy cannot be prevailed. Getting the point? And before understanding democracy, we should understand the constitution itself, because each and every individual in India, irrespective of their caste, gender, creed, sex, they should know what is constitution and which kind of facility constitution provides us. There is a basic tenet like in this constitution. So constitution is an organic fundamental law of the nation. Getting the point? Organic fundamental law of the nation means the thing which is organic, so it means it requires changes in the futuristic life insurance. Suppose that if a child is here, so he is an organic cell of the life, so he will grow as per the time requirement. So as the constitution is also one kind of a organic fundamental law. Organic fundamental law gives the space to those required amendments which without which the Constitution of India is incomplete. Let me give you the example. Constitution having the three words very specifically: conception, nature and characteristic. Constitution conceived in word conception. Conception means the meaning. If there is a constitution, so constitution will teach or tell the present government or the current government how you have to deal with this scenario, how you have to deal with the people, how you would come with those kind of welfare policies or the populist policies by which you can definitely bring the welfare of the people in India. So conception means what will be the structure of the government, what kind of the nature of the government, what kind of the attitude government will possess in the future. It means government is completely radical, government is liberal, or government is extremely liberal. So this is the what constitution entails the present government or the people to be aware of that. And after that conception, we should talk about the characteristic. Constitution has emphasized, suppose that if there is a government under the principle of the democratic centralization, so it means those characteristic features would definitely tell the government how will you define the features of your government. That this government is liberal towards this policy and this government is against this policy. So in India, we have been experiencing democratic principle since 1947. It is the official notification by which we are experiencing democratic principle, but rather than there was a rule of the British regime, we were experiencing unofficially also. So that's why it was the main reason, that's why we adopted this kind of a democratic nation. In democratic nation, there are the two kinds of specific governments. First, the presidential form of the government, and the second one is parliamentary form of the government. But our India is not the example of the presidential form of the government. Do you know why? Because in presidential government form of the government, there is a clear-cut separation between legislature or executive. And for your kind information students, so many students are there, I can conjecture that you might not have this kind of a sense what is legislature or what is executive in the right sense, in the appropriate sense. Sometimes legislature means the body which is formulating the law, which is making the law, which is pondering over the bill. Okay, we only legislature have this work to ponder over the bill. It means they have to understand a lot over the proposed legislation, over the proposed project in front of their eyes. Whenever they have this kind of a ponderness or the preponderance of over the bill, so that bill is in the legislature.
Sometimes it is Hindi as well.
Okay, sometimes, okay.
Right?
So sometimes what happened when this bill is in front of the legislature, so legislature pass this bill in front of the executive. And for your kind of information, executives are also of two types in India: permanent executive and temporary executive. Permanent executives are those executives which are under the central services or the civil services, famously known as IFS, IAS, IPS and PCS, all subordinate officials or the very high officials. And the non-permanent executives are the MPs and MLAs. For a kind of information, I think you might not know the difference between MPs and MLA. MPs are those people who are elected from the particular constituency to represent in parliament. It means the legislature of India. Indian legislature is having the two houses, State of Council and the Lok Sabha. Okay, so these both houses are very important for the legislation of the country itself. And from parliament we have the executive itself. Suppose that legislature is there, so among the MPs who are representing in parliament in Lok Sabha, from which the Prime Minister takes the ministers, not MP, takes the minister as a council of minister. It makes the real executive. It means legislation is making law. It is the sole authority of the executive to pass on that execution for the welfare of the citizens to the last level. Now, before I would like to draw your attention towards constitution again. Constitution has connoted one kind of a specific term, constitutionalism, which everybody should know. What do you mean by constitutionalism? Constitution has given this right to the popular representation, means the public of India. Whenever they will be thinking that there is an autocracy or the guided democracy in terms of the democracy, there is a guided democracy means the government is experiencing or telling that we are experiencing the democratic principle. But people think no, it is not a democratic principle, it is autocratic sometimes. Authoritarian regime, despotic rule is there. Getting the point? So people of India are entitled with this right of constitutionalism. Whenever you feel the suffocation in Indian government, suffocation in the laws and regulations or the policy formulations, then you have this sole authority, as per the constitution has given you this right to limit the power of the government. For example, I would like to make you understand with this example. Suppose that Indian government, Mr. Modi's government, brought some laws in Indian interest, but sometimes people think that these are the laws which are not in our favor, which are not in our welfare. Okay, so they would definitely not, deliberately they will say no, we do not want to accept these laws from the government side. Government should bring some modifications, incidental. Okay, but what happens when the people protest? So government has to think a lot. Why the people are thinking, why the people are claiming that our laws are not applicable to the citizens of the society, they are not welfare laws. So when government modifies those laws which earlier government has brought as a law for the welfare of the people, but due to the people protest, government has to bend herself or herself itself. So when the government, when you are restricting the power of the government to make the laws in the legislation, means parliament, it means that process is known as a constitutionalism. If you people are here, if you don't like my teaching, if you don't like my explanation, so you have this right under the constitutionalism, you can limit my teaching. Getting the point? Yes. So you have the sole authority. It means from your existence, my existence is prevailing. otherwise no. And there are the myths that Indian constitution is having the democratic principles, but actually there are the flaws of democracies. There are the demerits or merits of the democracy. Let me draw your attention. Since 1947, we have been experiencing the official democratic principles, and in which sometimes our constitution has accommodated some values and harbored some values like freedom, liberty, sovereignty, justice. These are the values, the constitutional values, which are in other form known as a constitutional moralities, to which every individual, irrespective of their status, have to adhere at any cost. If there is a compromise with the constitutional values of Indian constitution, so there is a disciplinary action against those citizens. Getting the point? Disciplinary action can be under CRPC or IPC, in both. So it is a one kind of a merit of a democratic principle. And one important principle of democratic, or like merit of democratic principle, is that there is a space of the popular representation. It means the people have the sole authority or the sole right to elect their members as the leader of the nation. Getting?
Yes.
Leader of the nation means the person who you are indirectly choosing, that person going in the legislature, it means parliament, in the majority. Then it is the duty of the executive who is authorized to elect him or to appoint him or to assign him as the head of the nation or head of the government. And one thing is very slightly you should understand. There is a very minute difference between the head of the state or head of the government. Head of the government is the part of legislature always, which is Mr. Modi now. And head of the state, sorry, I mispronounced. Head of the state means the President of India, which is Draupadi Murmu now. And head of the government is Mr. Modi. So in executive we have the two definitions. So we should not take it very lightly before speaking or stating anything in context of political science. After constitution, when there is a constitutionalism, so constitution makers thought there are lack of some values by which our constitution is incomplete, our democratic fruit is not ripened a lot, so we should incorporate some values. So there is a mini constitution which is known as a 42nd constitutional amendment of 1976. I'm again reiterating, Indian constitution is the bulky book, bulky organic fundamental law book. But there is a slight, very small book which is known as a mini constitution, that is the 42nd constitutional amendment of 1946, which has incorporated so many constitutional values like socialism, capitalistic form of government is not their term, but in the actual practice there is a capitalist form of the government now which is prevailing. I can see by your face expression that there are some people who are not aware of the socialism. What do you mean by socialism? Why the government, like constitution makers, became very sensitive over this kind of a socialism principle to incorporate in the Constitution of India? Okay, because they were thinking that our Indian government is beset with the princely states or the princely rulers, so they will definitely be act as an like hurdle in the developmental activities of the government. So socialism means whatever the government, union government is producing, whatever the central government is producing in terms of industry, in terms of agriculture, in terms of social infrastructure, in terms of political infrastructure, that benefit of those productions should reach till the last citizen of India. It means there must be not concentration of the wealth into the single hand. So that's why the government of India became again very sensitive, because they had to play over the democratic principle. So play over the democratic principle is easier said than done. Easier said than done. It is easy to say, but it is very tough to practically apply. So government came again with limiting the power of so many princely state rulers. Like nowadays, I think each and of you would be thinking, if the rich people are here in India, so why are they not able to just buy all the land? So there's a land ceiling act, which government came forward to prevail over the socialism, to spread this socialism across India. So this is what government came to play with the democratic principles. There are so many principles, there are so many constitutional moralities, there are so many core values in the constitution which incorporate so many merits. Simultaneously, there is a demerit also of the democratic principle. Sometimes what happens, there is a term guided democracy. There is a democracy, but there is a term guided democracy. Guided democracy means, student, suppose that if someone is giving you milk, that means milk is of buffalo or cow. So it means these two kinds of categories of milk are prevailing in India. Each and every individual likes to drink this kind of milk. If you give them some different animals milk to them, so they will not enjoy it. They will say, no, we want only original form of the milk, not any other breed or species, because we will not be able to digest it, because we have been addicted towards that earlier product. So democratic principle, the people of India have been addicted of the democratic principle since the ages of British rule, because British rule came with so many forward policies, so many welfare policies, or so many regressive policies to reap the benefits in their territorial context, or in terms of Indian context also, to just make them educate to avail the further rights. What happens? Democratic principles was introduced, but guided democracy, I'm going to make you understand. Government is having tinge of the autocratic rule or despotism, which most of the people don't like. Even the person being a human like citizen of India, I also sometimes don't like the government this kind of a rule. So it means I can preach this thing, that in the form of democracy, the government is practically experiencing or making the people experience guided democracy. Even though people have this kind of a cognitive dissonance in their mind, people have this kind of a misunderstanding in their mind, that we want to make the government understand, we want to limit the power of government, but due to the demerit of democratic principle, we all are not aware, we all are not capable enough to make the government understand. So these all are the form of democratic principles. There are further to say about democracy. There are so many demerits or merits, but due to the paucity of time, I have to take another topic, which is dictatorship, which is very good also, which is complementary base pairing, because dictatorship and democracy both are simultaneously going all together. By saying this, I would like to conclude in the democracy. Democracy is such a nice, beautiful concept. If it is practically used in the right sense, right manner, or with the sensitive intellectual competency, then it can definitely reap the benefits of its core principle even. If we practice it, so it is the living people who are practicing democracy in a wrong direction, because we cannot change the absolute or relative behavior of any individual or any form of the government. It is up to their government. If the government is very liberal, so they will interpret the constitution, that constitution is asking us to work or to lead in this direction. That's all. For the dictatorship, I would like to start, guides. Dictatorship. Somehow, whenever we listen to this word, so the one kind of imagination is there in our mind. Dictatorship might be very rude, might be very radical. That is the point. Might be very, very tough to explain. But dictatorship, sometimes there are the 5 categories of the dictatorship. First of all, I would like to draw your attention that I am giving you the general classification of the dictatorship, over which I will give you the little bit explanation. Military dictatorship is there, which is the first. The second is hybrid dictatorship, and third one is like populist or the personalist dictatorship. These are the forms. If I have to talk about dictatorship, so dictatorship is the one kind of a form of government. Listen to me very attentively. It is not the rule of a one person. It can be the rule of one person. It can be the rule of a group of the same ideology to control over the entire population of the nation. Getting the point? It is not the sole authority of an individual. it can be transformed into the group also. Okay. So when it comes to the military dictatorship, means absolute dictatorship, which is prevailing in so many countries like Cuba under the Fidel Castro. There is a very different dictatorship. Okay. In Germany, Nazi Adolf Hitler, he is experiencing different kind of a dictatorship. So there are so many examples. If I have to talk about dictatorship, so military dictatorship is that, suppose that in China, for most example I am just taking from China itself, because China is very famous nowadays in terms of each and every aspect, because it is a developed economy, we can say now, not a growing economy, but is trying to be called as a developing economy. So foremost, China is a military dictatorship. There is a mixing of the military rule or the single individual personality cult rule. Like I would like to say, personality cult leadership is what in terms of democracy is that, meaning is that sometimes people have the only one sole person as a ruler or as a leader who is authorized to rule over the entire population of the world, of the nation. Okay, but there are the challenges in front of that ruler also. How to expand the territory, how to expand the trade, how to expand the economy. So there are so many different challenges in front of the sole authority of the dictatorship. So when their sole authority of the dictatorship comes to merging with the military rule, it is the hybrid dictatorship. Do you understand? Military dictatorship is a separate concept and hybrid dictatorship is a separate concept. In military dictatorship, there is sole authority, but when sole authority thinks, then it is very difficult to expand the territorial expansion beyond the territory of China, beyond the territory of nation into the further nations. So they take the help of the military. So that's why one sole authority dictatorship was also known as a military rule, which is very famous and prevalent in Myanmar nowadays, because in Myanmar there is a military coup. Even though there is a military coup, because the prime ministership was transformed, the military are ruling. Take the example from Pakistan. There is a prime minister as a sole authority, but the responsible authority is the military only. Okay. So military, like if I talk about hybrid dictatorship. So China is the best example of hybrid dictatorship. In dictatorship, it is said that there might be less scope to represent the people's ideology, to represent the view of the people, because they are very rude, they are not very relative, they are very absolute. I would like to draw your attention towards this concept absolute or relative, because again and again I am emphasizing absolute or relative. Absolute, you should know what is the meaning of absolute. Suppose that if you do not change yourself as per the demand of time, so it means you are very absolute in nature, very absolute, very tough to change it. It means you are very core in your values. It is very tough to change your ideology. So it means you are very absolute in your behavior. But sometimes when I can change your thought process, your ideology, your core values, your peripheral values, so it means you are a very relative person. It means you are giving or accommodating some space to the new challenges, to the new time period. It means you are not very abstract by your idea and thought. So this is the meaning of relativeness or absolute. So each and every form, in my personal opinion, in my personal context, I would like to say each and every form of the government should be little bit relative, not absolute. Because our India was also very absolute before 1990. But it was the WTO or the international organization which came forward and asked Mr. So-and-so, who was the former Prime Minister or the President respectively, please, you should try to liberalize yourself. So that's why there were the three concepts which were introduced, LPG reforms in India. And since that period, our Indian economy is going towards the new heights. So it means, it is said sometimes, your attitude decides what will be your altitude. Okay, so government of India changed their attitude. They became from absolute to the relative. That's how we are experiencing, we are shaking the hand with these so many different international delegates with a small blushing but a smile. And have to draw your attention towards the demerits or merits of the dictatorship. So one thing is here, in terms of merits, it is said that there is no friendly government. It means very rude government is there. Only one regime is powering. One
rigid government.
rigid government is there. One rigid government is there, which is ruling across nation, and which is not giving the space to the human being to sensitize their issues, okay, to make their grievances in front of the public, in front of the media. So there is another demerit of dictatorship: strict censorship of media. It means whatever government passes as laws, legislation or act in dictatorship nation. So government of dictatorship nations or the autocratic nations are having this tendency, why not to favor media in our interest? We should ask them whatever we want to deliver, they have to deliver it. It means the strict censorship of media is that much high in dictatorship nations that they are not very interested in the grievances or the problematic situations of the people. Rather than they are promoting or spreading the fake cultural regime or the authority of those dictatorial leaders. Sometimes it is said, now I should take the help of my notes. There is a very good merit of dictatorship. The things are happening very quickly. There's a compromise with the emergency situations, but in terms of democracy, if you see, so just make it very different, make it very opposite. There is a red tapeism in democratic nations like in India. If you want to get your work done, so it is not a very easy task. Okay, it means you have to chew the iron drums. Okay, you have to go through the very different process in which you can be the victim of corruption, but it is prevailing in India. But in the dictatorship nation, corruption is never there. High politics is not there. There is an absence of these two negative characteristic features of democratic principles. Okay, and there are the very two sole opinion of the two very eminent good personalities. Like, I am just forgetting their name, but I have written somewhere. Like Lee Kuan, the Prime Minister of Singapore, he has criticized India in a democratic sense, that India was having the future potential as per the time status, statement I am passing in front of you from the Lee Kuan. He was the former Prime Minister of Singapore. So he has criticized India in democratic principle. He was explaining India had a potential to avail the benefits of the dictatorship, but it willingly or deliberately chose for the democratic principle. So it is one kind of a loophole of the Indian democratic principle. But as usual, if there is a critic, so there is a well-wisher also. So the appreciation, like the person came who is very famous person, very eminent personality, even though I also personally like his views or the books, who is known as Amartya Sen. He is a very best economist of India. Amartya Sen said, no, actually development and democracy both are the interdependable components of any nation. So our Indian government or the Constituent Assembly thought over this thing, that democratic principles, if there are democratic principles, the people of India who have been victim under the four boundaries, who will have the liberty to express their views in terms of economic development, in terms of social infrastructure, political infrastructure. It means all over the scenario of the organic nation, by which our nation can get this stage by which it can progress about. So Amartya Sen concluded by saying this thing: no, whatever we have been experiencing well. Democracy and developmental, these components are there, which are interchangeably used, or the government sometimes is using also by collecting the views from the several expert people who are sitting in cabinet or council of ministers. Okay, the eminent bureaucrats are there in the different nations of the in Indian scenario also. So this is all about the understanding, or this is all about the lectureship about two concepts: democracy or dictatorship. I would like to say, or I would like to conclude by saying, in the context of dictatorship, it is the process of the government which is prevalent across the world in different nations, which is highly representing the human value abuses is there. Okay, censorship, media is there, strict rules and regulation is there. It means extreme despotic rule is prevailing under dictatorship. Now, poles apart of the explanation of these two values, I should come forward with conclusion also, which is very important, because without conclusion it will be not full with explanation. So in terms of democratic principle, conclusion is that whatever the government is coming, whatever other system is prevailing in India, so our India should be very sensitive in terms of changing value system of Indian nations, not Indian nations, like nationals. Even the constitutional values should be changed time to time, and there are so many instances over which the constitutional values have changed even, and the constitution became legislators became very pensive, and they changed or they gave the space to those values which constitution demanded earlier. But it was the misfortune of our nation that previous or former government was not active that much. So we should come forward with these kind of future values, which will definitely bring some kind of incremental changes in grassroots level, which India is lacking a lot. Social infrastructure is not developed in the grassroots reality, in the grassroots level states. In terms of dictatorship should be there, but absolute dictatorship should not be there. There must be guided dictatorship. It means the dictatorship should be somehow relative also. If absolute dictatorship is there, so it will very harm to the nation to praise in its own boundary, but on the international platform it might be reserving the vacuum. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks for your attention.